Little boy was planning flight routes for airplanes. However, his companions behind him told him that it was impossible for planes to fly to their location. The boy turned his head and said to them with determination, "Then let's find a way to make them fly here." They quickly developed a plan. First, they found a small cart and used white chalk to draw runway lines on the ground. Then, they used collected stones to make markers. Next, they moved desks to build a watchtower. Finally, they used sacks as windsocks. Just like that, a miniature version of an airport was completed. Now, they only needed to wait for the planes to arrive. After an unknown amount of time, a plane appeared in the distant sky. The children happily waved their hands and shouted, but they received no response at all. They were very disappointed. In the evening, they sat on the roof, staring at the stars in a daze. At this moment, one of the boys noticed bright light bulbs on a rope. He suddenly had an idea. The next morning, when a plane passed overhead again, they arranged the light bulbs along the runway lines and plugged in the power. The runway lines immediately lit up. Then, the children excitedly waved at the plane. However, a miracle still did not happen. Hope was shattered once again. This made everyone feel discouraged. Just at this moment, the first rays of the morning sun emerged. A plane slowly flew towards them. The children were very excited. The plane lowered its landing gear, aiming at the runway, preparing to land. The boy stood on the watchtower and saluted. However, the plane did not really land. It just flew over the runway towards the back of the mountain. The children immediately chased after it. It turned out that on the other side of the mountain, there was also an airport. They arrived at the arrival gate just as the plane landed. When the captain walked down from the plane, he happened to see the little boy who had just saluted him. Then, he gave him a handsome salute in return.